Your home's roof, it's more than just a bunch of shingles, right? It's really this silent guardian, and it's in a constant battle with the elements. Today, we're going to dive into the science of how your roof can actually win that fight, especially when Mother Nature decides to throw her absolute worst at it. So what does it really take to protect a home in a place that's literally nicknamed Hail Alley? I'll tell you, the answer goes way beyond just nailing down some shingles. It's about gearing up for a full-on assault from Mother Nature. All right, so any good defense, right? It starts with knowing your enemy. You got to know what they're throwing at you. So let's take a look at the unique weather weapons that Colorado's Front Range unleashes on homes year after year. Okay, so let's zero in on a place like Littleton, Colorado. It's sitting smack dab in the middle of what's known as a hail corridor. And what that means is the climate there, it creates this perfect storm for severe weather. It basically turns the whole area into a constant battleground for homeowners. So this attack, it really comes from 4 different directions. First up, you've got hail impact, which can feel like a hammer blow. Then there's the intense UV radiation. At high altitudes, it literally cooks your shingles until they get all brittle. On top of that, you've got these high-velocity winds just whipping down from the mountains. And finally, these wild temperature swings that make your roof expand and contract. It's almost like it's breathing. And we're not talking about a little tap, tap, tap here. We're talking about some serious force. Just imagine chunks of ice the size of golf balls smashing into your roof at 100 miles per hour. Wow, that's more than enough to crack a standard shingle in a heartbeat. Okay, so with that kind of crazy assault happening, how can you possibly tell if your roof is losing the fight? Well, it is absolutely crucial to spot the damage before a small problem blows up into a full-blown catastrophe. So let's get into the warning signs of failure. This quote right here, it really highlights a huge challenge for homeowners. See, from your lawn, a few little dings on your roof might seem totally harmless, but what you're actually looking at is something called functional failure. Those tiny little cracks, they're basically open doors for water, leading to these slow, hidden leaks that can cause just massive, massive damage over time. So here's a simple little 5-point checklist you can use to spot trouble. First, check your gutters. If you find a bunch of asphalt granules in there, that's a big red flag. It's kind of like your shingles are shedding their protective skin. Also, look up and see if you notice any curling or blistering shingles. And then inside your house, keep an eye out for any water stains on the ceiling, or if the ceiling itself looks like it's sagging. Those are dead giveaways that damage has already gotten through. And in colder climates, you've got this other sneaky problem called an ice dam. Here's how it works. Heat escapes from a poorly ventilated attic, and it melts the snow on your roof. That water then runs down to the colder edge and, bam, it refreezes, creating a literal dam of ice. So what happens? Water pools up behind it, gets right under the shingles, and starts leaking straight into your home. All right, enough doom and gloom about the problems, right? Let's talk about the solutions. How do we build a roof that can actually fight back? Well, that brings us to what we call the modern roofing defense. So the very first line of defense is the shingle itself. Your standard run-of-the-mill shingles, they can get brittle and crack under all that pressure. But Class 4 impact-resistant shingles, that's a whole different story. They're actually made with a rubberizing polymer, which lets them absorb the impact from hail instead of shattering. They are so effective, in fact, that using them can often get you a pretty sweet discount on your home insurance. But listen, it's not just about the shingles on top. Proper attic ventilation is an absolute game changer. It helps prevent those nasty ice dams we were just talking about, and it keeps your attic from turning into an oven in the summer. And just look at this chart. A properly vented attic can extend the life of your shingles by a whopping 20%. That is huge. And then, hiding underneath the shingles, you've got this other critical layer, an ice and water shield. Think of it like a self-adhering waterproof membrane. It gets installed in all the most vulnerable spots, the edges, the valleys, and around any pipes or vents sticking out. This thing is your last line of defense against leaks from those ice dams or from just heavy wind-driven rain. Okay, so you've decided to upgrade to a modern roof. Awesome. But what's next? The whole process might seem a little daunting, but it's actually pretty straightforward when you break it down. So let's walk through that replacement process together step by step. Really, it all comes down to 3 key steps. First is the inspection and assessment. A professional comes out and they document all the damage. We're talking photos, detailed reports, the whole shebang. Next up is the installation and protection. The old roof gets torn off, they inspect the decking underneath, and then the new, complete system is installed. And finally, you have the final inspection and warranty. The work gets verified by a county inspector, and you get all your important warranty paperwork delivered right to you. Now, this part is a really crucial detail of the modern process, so pay attention here. Good quality professionals will actually take pictures of the installation of those hidden parts, like the ice and water shield, before they get covered up by shingles. Why does this matter? Well, it gives you documented photographic proof that the job was done right, and that is huge for your peace of mind and, of course, for your warranty coverage. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. A modern, storm-proof roof is not just a single layer of shingles. Not at all. It's a complete, integrated system. It's the tough, impact-resistant shingles, the vital underlayment, the balanced ventilation, and the expert installation, all of it working together as a team to protect your home. Which really just leaves us with one final and I think very important question for you to consider. After everything we've gone through, the weapons of the weather, all those warning signs of failure, and the different parts of a modern defense, is your roof, is it truly ready for its next big battle?